Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and in this video I'm going to be showing the fastest fully upgraded compacts around a circuit and the best cars to use for races. For the full story about what I did, check the annotation on the screen or the link in the description for the intro video, but otherwise, let's get straight into it. So in last place for the compacts is the Dilettante. Should come as no surprise, it's the only electric car in the compacts class and it's pretty horrific really. It's not very good when it comes to the corners, it's not a nice car to drive. A 1 minute 23.6 is way off the pace of everything else, and really if the Dilettante wasn't in the compacts class, the class would actually be quite close, but because of this it's just so far off the pace. It's a horrible car to use for a race really. So in 5th place is the Prairie. Now the Prairie actually feels quite nice to drive, especially around the corners. It does get the benefit of a spoiler, giving it that increased traction, which means that around the corners it is quite nice to drive, but it does lack that overall sort of top end speed to be able to challenge the top spots. Having said that, all of the cars from this point on in the compact class are quite close together and could certainly be used if you want to. So just ahead of the Prairie in 4th place is the Issi. Now, the Issi does have a tendency to step out a little bit and oversteer, especially under braking, so you do need to be aware of that, you do need to be careful about that. It does have a little bit more speed in it and acceleration than the Prairie, but overall in terms of the lap time that it gets, it's only half a second quicker, and that's because the Prairie can get a bit better speed through the corners due to its extra spoiler, which the Issi doesn't have. Having said that, not too bad of a car to drive again if you want to. So in 3rd place, just ahead of the Issi, is the Blister. Now the Blister is a it's a tiny amount ahead of the Issi, only 1/10 of a second, but it is a lot more stable. So if you're going to choose anything between the Blister and the Issi, the Blister will be the easier one to choose. It doesn't get the addition of a spoiler, which I think really would help it to get into those top spots if it had one, but even so, it's still quite a nice car to drive. It's got decent speed in a straight line for the class, and it's not too bad around the corners as well, nice and well planted. So yeah, it's certainly not too bad overall, and just that little bit better and more consistent than the Issi is. Still a little bit off the pace of the top two though, and really it's the top two that are kind of in a class of their own. So in 2nd place is the Panto. The Panto does benefit from having a spoiler, and really it's all about acceleration with the Panto. It's got crazy good acceleration, very small, very light. It will just shoot off those corners, and in the right hands it can be a very viable option. It is quite difficult to get used to, you know, it's very small, a lot smaller than all the other cars, and it doesn't react well to bumps on the road and curbs, but in the right hands it can be used to get a very good time, and it's not that far behind our first placed car. But it is all about acceleration, you know, on a track with a lot of long straights, it will tend to suffer in the top speed area because it doesn't have a lot in that area. So in first place is the Rhapsody. The Rhapsody again also gets a spoiler. It has that top end speed that is able to dominate a Panto in a straight line, and it has enough traction and acceleration to be able to put it all together and get that 1 minute 15.9 lap time, 2/10 of a second quicker than the Panto. Now, on very tight tracks that require a lot of acceleration and power out of the corners, the Panto will be better. On tracks with longer straights, the Rhapsody will be significantly better. But on most tracks, on a balanced track, both the Panto and the Rhapsody will be able to compete with each other for the top spots. Having said that, the Rhapsody overall is just a slightly better package. It's a lot more consistent. It has a little bit of everything rather than a lot of one thing and not much of something else. So the Rhapsody overall is a good package to have, and in a compact race it's certainly the one to choose if you want to be the most consistent and the most competitive as well. So great stuff for the Rhapsody there. Obviously it's a shame that the Blister Compact from the sports class isn't in this class as well, because it would just be very slightly quicker than the Rhapsody, but again a little bit more inconsistent, so it would have been a good balance. But as it stands, the compacts class is the smallest that we have in the regular classes, and the Rhapsody is the top of the table in that. So thanks a lot for watching everyone. I really do appreciate your support as always. You know, let me know what you thought about this list down below. In the next video we'll be having the vans and then the utility vehicles, and we'll finish up with the off-roads as well. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see those, and check out all the previous episodes by clicking the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching everyone. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.